And welcome into today's edition of One Nation Weather. And I'll warn you, we have two seasons going on and they're going to clash this week. So this is a little bit of an update on my video that I posted on Saturday here. It is now Monday, February 20th. I hope it's going well for you here. But this is still going to apply as we go towards midweek because I'm talking about Tuesday night, and into Wednesday here. And I'm going to pick up here on your Tuesday. You can see we're going to get snow getting going in the north and west as we go into Tuesday. This is something I want you to note. Low pressure is going to be developing in the Rocky Mountains. And this is going to be the setup that's going to bring warmer air on the eastern side of that low pressure system and cooler air on the northern and western side. And once those two air masses clash, it could create not only a chance for some severe weather, but also a chance for some ice accumulation in portions of the Great Lakes region. So I want to go ahead and let you know that that's what's coming on this episode. But you can see snow gets going north, very heavy at times, I think, in the portions of the north and west here. We'll start off maybe as some rain, maybe some sleet in portions of the west coast, but even they will turn over to snow, even into portions of California there as we go on with time into Tuesday night. And then eventually we'll get some snow to move eastward towards the Great Lakes region Tuesday night as well. Minor systems and clippers will be setting kind of a boundary up along the east coast that's going to help fuel some moisture for this system. But in all reality, those systems will not be doing too much in terms of snow or rain accumulation along the east coast. But Wednesday is when things turn interesting for you here. We're going to have some lingering mountain snow going on in the west, but that won't be too heavy at this point. Very breezy, though, in portions of the southwest, as those southwestern winds will kick up into the low pressure system. Meanwhile, northerly winds will be coming right out of the north here, so the Dakotas, Minnesota will have some pretty strong winds on Wednesday, along with snow, so we could have some isolated blizzard-like conditions going on in some of these areas. The snow will be heavy at times, stretching all the way into portions of New York as well as we go into Wednesday here. You can see that purple there. That's an area where we'll see sleet, ice, and rain all mixing in with your snow at times here. That's going to be where we're going to have a mess. But this is going to be a sprawling low pressure system. More than 50% of the country having the chance to see some sort of rain precipitation or snow precipitation on your Wednesday, or mixed, of course. As well, we'll have a severe weather risk going on here into portions of the Arklatex. Now, actually, this risk has gone down a little bit. The Storm Prediction Center, I read their little notice on it. They have reevaluated the severe weather risk, and they've decided that it's a little bit lower than initially thought, but there is still a risk here, a level 1 risk, mainly for gusty winds, I think, so maybe 60, 70 miles per hour with some of these storms as they get going out of Oklahoma and Texas, kind of move on off to the east until they kind of weaken in portions of Tennessee and Mississippi here. Isolated hail and isolated tornadoes, though, those will not be ruled out of the equation with this severe weather. So again, minor clippers and systems going on in the east. You can see some of that light rain, that light snow going on in the east and northeast here. This is as we go towards the midday period on Tuesday. Notice snow diving down out of the north and west, though. That's going to be the main story here, is low pressure gets going right into the Rocky Mountains, and the low pressure is going to begin strengthening, pulling some light moisture into portions of Arizona and New Mexico as well. This is when things are going to get windy. You see those lines that are in your screen, those are isobars. Wherever they're tightly packed, that's where it's pretty windy here. And you can see snow's going to get going right across the northern tier as we go into Wednesday. But here's what I want to show you. That pink area is where we're going to be watching for some mixed precipitation. The red area is where we're going to be watching for some severe weather. So watch your screen. We have heavy snow going on in the Mountain West. Here's the beginning of a line of severe weather coming out of Oklahoma and Texas and moving east. Again, doesn't look to be too strong. Another big part of this, you see those purples going on. Southern Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, southern Michigan. That's where we're going to have the potential for some ice as the severe weather gets going. Notice it doesn't last long, though, and really the moisture from that severe weather is just going to fuel the heavier ice, the heavier sleet, the heavier snow going on into that Great Lakes region. We continue to see prolonged periods of ice where we could get, honestly, accumulations of some of that ice, maybe quarter to half an inch in some locations as this moves off to the east. Even New York getting in on some of the ice, not quite as intense there. But a really heavy band of snow is going to get going along the north side of this as well, which is going to allow for places like Michigan and areas around it to get as much as 10 to 12 inches of snow in some cases, isolated higher totals along this as well. And that band of snow will get moving eastward here into portions of Maine eventually as it moves towards the east coast. And notice not much in the way of shower coverage in the southeast out of this. It's mainly going to move on to the north and suck that moisture on northward. Winds with the system sustained up to 30 miles per hour coming from the north in the northern tier here, but they'll be coming out of the south and southern tier. Sounds exactly like it should, right? Sustained up to 40 miles per hour in portions of the Four Corners region there. Warm and gusty winds this week as well coming out of the south southeast region here, and you can see we've got cool air sitting up into portions of the north right now, but watch what happens with this. This is just kind of showing you where the air is going to be sitting. Cool air gradually seeping on downward out of the mountain west here as we go with time. This is early Wednesday morning. That cool air, these are temperatures compared to average, just continually dipping down along that boundary. And really what happens here is that cool air is going to be filtering in all across the country eventually here. And here's a look at your European model air temperatures. This is 4 p.m. on Thursday. You can see a good chunk of areas here are going to be seeing those temperatures down still near 80 degrees, excuse me, and on Thursday afternoon in portions of the southeast. Notice we'll be actually trying to warm up a little bit behind the snow system that we get. It'll still be quite cool in the northeast, though, because it'll still be finishing up there. Look at the cool air, though, filtering into portions of the northern tier. I see several -8s. I see several -7s. I see several -9s, and this is in the afternoon. We'll get down to near -20 at times into the nighttime here. And then you can see as we go 4 p.m. on Friday, look at that. Cooler air seeping at least a little bit further south with a good chunk of 40s there from the mid-Atlantic back into the central tier. Here's a look at your credits. Have a good day.